Hello, TriviaClips friends. Have you ever wondered how Marilyn Manson became one of the most controversial and, at the same time, most influential figures in rock? Do you want to know the secrets behind his meteoric rise, unique style, and his ability to challenge all norms? Then get ready, because today we're going to uncover it all. Stick around until the end to discover surprising details about his life, career, and the mysteries that still surround this legendary artist. You won't want to miss it. Birth of a legend. Marilyn Manson, whose real name is Brian Hugh Warner, was born on January 5th, 1969, in Canton, Ohio. From his childhood, Manson was a different kind of kid. Raised in a conservative and religious family, his environment was everything opposite to the freedom he desired. It was during his youth that he began rebelling against the strict social norms imposed on him, diving into the world of art, music, and alternative culture. From an early age, he was drawn to the dark and macabre, especially horror films and books that explored the unknown. Interestingly, Manson wasn't always the scandalous figure we know today. Initially, he was a quiet young man looking for a way to express himself. His passion for music led him to form his band, Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids, in the mid-'80s. But what was most striking was not just their sound, but also their visual style, which would soon become one of the most controversial aspects of his career. But how did he go from being a kid from Ohio to becoming a globally recognized figure? The answer lies in his stage name, Marilyn Manson, a blend of two radically opposite icons. Marilyn Monroe, the blonde symbol of beauty and femininity, and Charles Manson, the infamous criminal who terrorized America in the 60s. By combining these two names, Manson didn't just create a memorable image, but also sent a bold message to break with everything established, to create something new, something challenging. Controversy as a tool. Throughout the 90s, Manson started gaining attention, and not for conventional reasons. His band, blending industrial rock with alternative metal, quickly gained attention, but what truly propelled Manson to fame was his provocative attitude. The album Antichrist Superstar, released in 1996, not only became a commercial success, but it was also a battle cry against traditional morality. The lyrics were dark. The images in his music videos and concerts were terrifying, and of course, reactions didn't take long to come. The media, politicians, and religious groups were quick to point fingers at Manson as the figure responsible for the decay of youth. In fact, after the tragedy of the Columbine school shooting in 1999, Manson was wrongly linked with the perpetrators of the attack simply because they shared a similar aesthetic. The media accused him of negatively influencing young people, fueling a culture of violence. Despite Manson denying any connection to the shooting, this event further increased his visibility and made him the target of all sorts of criticisms. But instead of shying away from the controversy, Manson embraced it. Why? Because he understood that scandal and rejection only boosted his popularity. From then on, controversy was not just a side effect of his art, but an integral part of his public image. While society rejected him, he used that very reaction to fuel his career. Manson's art and music. Marilyn Manson wasn't just a musical artist, he was also a performer. His concerts were more than just music. They were complete visual experiences that left the audience in awe. From macabre imagery to impactful stage setups, every show was a kind of performance art that challenged the norms of entertainment. Manson's musical style was characterized by a fusion of industrial rock with alternative metal. But what made his music fascinating was the way he tackled deep themes such as religion, politics, alienation, and self-perception. The album Mechanical Animals, released in 1998, marked a turning point in his career, introducing more electronic sounds and less aggressive tones. yet maintaining that same sense of bewilderment and disturbance. It was an album that showed a more introspective Manson, but just as provocative. Meanwhile, Holy Wood, in the Shadow of the Valley of Death, from 2000 was a direct commentary on violence and the celebrity culture in the United States, a theme Manson addressed boldly and without hesitation. What set Manson apart from so many other artists was his ability to reinvent himself, yet always staying true to his visual and philosophical style. His career was a constant evolution, adapting to new trends without losing its essence. The person behind the character. Although Marilyn Manson has always been known for his scandalous persona and defiant attitude, it's important to remember that behind the provocative image is a very different man. Brian Warner, the person behind the character, is quieter, more introspective, and often reflective about his career and the life he has chosen. While his public persona is that of someone who rejects all norms, Manson has stated in several interviews that his personal life is far from that of a rebellious figure without a cause. In fact, in many ways, he is someone who feels deeply misunderstood. Interviews in which Manson shows vulnerability or philosophical insights are rare, but when they do happen, they provide a completely different view of the man who has built his career around controversy. His persona as Marilyn Manson is, in many ways, a construct that he uses as a means of expressing the tensions and frustrations he feels as an individual. Marilyn Manson's legacy. Over the years, Marilyn Manson has managed to stay relevant, and his legacy is undeniable. While his music may no longer have the same impact it did in the 90s, his influence on popular culture remains significant. He is a symbol of the fight against established norms, an example of how art can challenge social morality. Although his image has been the subject of criticism and controversy, Manson managed to build a loyal fan base that sees him as a cultural icon. The irony is that despite the constant battle against the media, politics, and critics, Marilyn Manson remains one of the most complex and fascinating artists of our time. Marilyn Manson has gone from being a rebellious young man to becoming a central figure in the history of rock and pop culture. His ability to reinvent himself, challenge conventions, and embrace controversy has kept him relevant for decades. Throughout his career, Manson has shown that sometimes the key to success isn't in pleasing others, but in staying true to oneself, even if it means challenging the status quo. So, what do you think about Marilyn Manson? Do you believe his impact on music and culture is as significant as his critics say? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to TriviaClips for more content on iconic figures in entertainment.